Oh, captain, my captain. Heartbeat.
Marvellous.
Instrumental.
Magnificent.
Pivotal.
Leader.
We could go on all day, couldn't we?
Influential. Did you say influential?
No. Foundation.
Instrumental.
I think I said that.
All right, yeah. We're talking about you.
You happens to be the captain
Minchella.
of Hull KR, Elliot Minchella. Welcome to the Bench podcast with Jenna and John. We're here at Craven Park ahead of arguably a very big, I mean, not really, there's no argument in it, is there? The biggest match so far of the season for Hull KR. Elliot Minchella is alongside us. We know that you're obviously not playing in tonight's game. We're not going to get into the details of it because by the time this podcast drops, it won't matter because you'll either be playing next week or you won't.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, it's a strange one, yeah, but thanks for having me. Yeah, very weird feeling the last 3 weeks. Yeah, obviously we've had an interesting time, but yeah, nice to be sat here, but looking forward to watching some good rugby tonight.
Yeah, and how about that, though? That you've done all year, it's been a standout year for you and the team. How difficult is it being captain and being so influential and having to watch the biggest game of the year?
Yeah, it's been hard. I think the hardest thing's been the training. Obviously, we've had a week off as well, so we've had longer preparation. Yeah. Just tried to have as much input as I can, but yeah, it's difficult when you're so passionate and so sort of direct with people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've still been doing the same thing, but almost having to step away at times as well and let the other boys take over.
It's sort of weird when you're not in the team run.
Yeah.
So when you speak, right, you can say things and you can have an opinion and be strong, but then it's like when the team start training, you like slope out the side, which you've not done all year.
Yeah, well, I've been running on the Bibs team, if you like, which we've been prepping obviously for Warrington since they won the game.
So you've been Ben Curry.
So I've been Ben Curry for the last week. It's been interesting.
Has it?
Yeah.
How did you go?
I thought I did all right.
You got Warrington's Player of the Year, Elliot.
He did. Yeah.
Pulling the strings.
Player of the year, Player of the year.
Yeah, feeling fresh, yeah, feeling good.
There
He did a great
So Ben
Curry.
Curry's prepped for tonight. Yeah.
They couldn't have had a better.
He's going to have a stormer tonight.
Elliot, you mentioned it there, though. The team have had 3 weeks to prepare for this game without you. Willie has spoken a lot the last couple of weeks about just your input and your influence in the team. You're obviously captain. How have you found that captaincy this year in particular, and what is it like to captain a side like Hull KR after the season that you've had, regardless of what happens tonight, next week? I mean, it's got to be remarkable.
Yeah. I've absolutely loved it, to be honest. I went and approached Willie about it, and it's something I wanted to do. I went to speak to him.
So you asked him to make...
Yeah, in the pre-season, yeah. I put my name forward and just said it's something I want to be. I want to lead the club. I thought something I'm passionate about, and I wanted to do it, yeah. So I made no secret to that. And then, yeah, I've absolutely loved the year. It's been difficult at times, but we've got such a good group of leaders, and what the boys in the past who are not with us anymore, like Sean Kenny Dowell, Kane Lynette, Lachlan Coote, what they built over the last sort of 2 or 3 years, we've just continued that. The standards I'm talking about, culture. So it's been a really easy transition, to be honest with you. We've not done anything sort of different than what I would normally do.
So
yeah, they've done the work, and I'm just sort of flying the flag, you know, holding
the rewards.
Holding the torch now, and then I'll pass it on to someone else. But that's culture.
So
I think.
hang on. So when you went to Willie, what did Willie say?
Well, he said yes.
Well, no, did he immediately?
Did he not? He let him sweat.
We went for a brekkie in Beverley, and I thought, right, I'm going to go in and just tell him straight away, you know, just be honest. Yeah. And but yeah, I thought I'd get an answer that day, but it didn't. It left me about 6 weeks.
Oh, the burn!
I went driving home. I thought,
I've done the wrong thing. I've done the wrong thing.
But no, then just before Christmas, I remember. I think I went to see him in November. Yeah. And just before Christmas, his last session before Christmas break. Yeah, he told me then. So
yeah, amazing.
Over the moon. Yeah.
Do you remember at the start of the year you interviewed Elliot and was it Cam Smith coming out the tunnel early on, and we were talking then.
Time of the game.
We said, oh, it'd be good to interview those two young new captains, and get their take on it. I don't think at that point we could see this year going as well for the team and for you.
As it has.
As in your first season as being captain, it's what's the biggest thing you've learned in that first year?
Just be me. I think that's the one thing. Like, you know, I do a lot of reading and listen to stuff and quotes and all that, but if you're not yourself, you're not genuine, and you're not get buy-in from your teammates. Your teammates just see straight through me. Don't pretend you're someone you're not. Just be yourself. And you have to be direct with people at times, but I think as long as you're honest and you're you, well, you know, you're on the right track.
I've got 3 questions from that. First one, what's your favourite quote?
Oh, my favourite quote. Don't listen to criticism from someone you won't take advice from. I love that one.
Right. Okay.
Because
really
you get, obviously, in sport, you get a lot of criticism, which
social
sometimes
media
it's fair.
as well. And
but my thing is, if I won't take advice from that person, then sometimes the criticism is maybe not from the best place.
Like it, good.
Second question, who is Elliott Minchella then?
Who am I?
Yeah.
See ya.
I'm here.
I didn't say where are you, I said who are you?
Sorry.
How are you, she said.
I'm fine, thanks.
Who is Elliott Minchella?
Yeah, you're saying about what you're saying,
you've learned about who you are.
Authenticity, about who describe yourself. And
I'd like to think I work hard, say things as it is, you know, rather than walk past the situation and go away and think about it. I think just direct, meet stuff head on. I think that's the best way of dealing with things. And also don't tell someone to do something you're not willing to do yourself. Again, that's another thing where that's how you gain people's respect. If I would go barking orders at people and telling them to do this, this and this, and I wouldn't do it myself, well, I ain't got a leg to stand on. So just being genuine,
Yeah. Third question. I have to do this, you see, just so that John doesn't cut me off, and you know, as he does. So third question, and then you can have the mic for a little bit anyway.
Fine.
Third question is, you said before that when it's time for you to pass the baton on, somebody else will be able to lead this team. So what has Willie said? Are you going to be captain in 2025? Was this just a one-year kind of test run, see how well you do? Like, what's...
I hope so.
He has to approach him every year.
I'll go see him in November
for breakfast. And like, Willie, just want to know if I'm captain next year. 6 weeks later, 6 weeks sweat.
I don't know.
So you assume you are? Of course you are.
I think so. You got me guessing now.
No.
I'm going to go see him after this.
Sorry, Willie, I know you've got big things on tonight,
just in case.
I'm just wondering if I am I going to be captain next year?
I know you've got bigger things on your mind right now, but...
Bigger than
good if you had to apply every year.
As we said earlier, you are the heartbeat of this team.
Yeah, you are. You are.
Thanks.
No, you are. And just on that, in terms of a rugby, like we don't really talk a lot of rugby on this, but in a rugby sense, Elliott's had such a rounded year, real balance to like how he plays the game, and ultimately the defensive sort of mindset that dictates how well Hull KR have done revolves around you and a few of the key people. So when he says leading from the front, doing things that, you know, not asking people to do things he wouldn't do, well, quite often he's leading in those effort areas. So it's easy to then be more demanding of your teammates if you're willing to head that up.
Definitely. I think as well, the key for me is getting people around you doing their job as well. You know, we're a team. You know, I think the best players have people around them doing their stuff as well. So then when you step up to do your thing, everyone else is done their bit as well. So it's getting the best out of other people.
And you do have a team of leaders, right?
Sorry?
You have a team of leaders.
100%, yeah. And I think, getting the best out of your teammates is part of the job, and I quite like it, being direct with someone, and it's different. We maybe put an arm around someone else.
This is what I was going to ask.
That's just knowing your players as well, knowing who's next to you and in the dressing room,
So
everyone's different.
Yeah, are you a captain that kind of comes down hard on someone, or do you wrap your arm around them? Depends on who it is.
You have to do both, yeah. If you approached everyone the same, you won't get the best out of someone, yeah.
So who's someone you got to come down hard on?
I'm always direct with Jesse Sue. Obviously playing in the middle, I feel like you have to be direct with people, but I know to get the best out of Jesse is tell him what you want from him and be direct, not come down hard on him, but if I put my arm around him, he won't get the best out of Jesse. If I go direct and say, Jesse, I need you to do this, this and this, he goes and does it.
How do you get Mikey Lewis to do what you want?
Put my arm around him. No, Mikey's changed, I think. In the last,
hasn't he? This year?
This year especially, I think, being from when he played for England at the end of last year in that Tonga series, he's come back a different player, different person. So where you might have put your arm around Mikey before, now I think he likes it when you're more direct with him, and he gets that bit between his teeth when he comes out here and shows people what he's about. If you go a bit soft with him, I don't think that gets the best out of Mikey.
No, I think Mikey at his worst was a bit sort of petulant, a bit sulky maybe, and let things get the better of him in games. You know, emotionally he was quite like volatile. Whereas this year, he's just been so level, so calm. Played against Wigan here. He got kick pressured and put on his backside twice early in the game. Now, last year, he would have stood up, there would have been a big square off, there'd have been everything. He just sort of took it and then smashed Wigan to bits. More maturity to him.
Definitely, it's just about what's your next job, you know, rather than, like you say, maybe laying on the floor or getting involved in something you don't want to be involved in. You're screaming at him, what's your next job, what are you going to do next for us? And he's really, and he listens really well. He's really good at taking advice.
Let's move on to something that has been on my mind for a little while now. I don't know whether it's true or not, so I'm just going to come out and ask. But Barry McDermott basically claims that he discovered you. He did say that something about you that one of the things that made you stand out from the rest was that the belief that you had in yourself. Not necessarily confidence at that age, but you had this enormous amount of belief. Immediately, you set your sights of replacing somebody like Kevin Sinfield instead of perhaps looking at like the Stevie Wards or the Liam Sutcliffes. Is that true?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I think probably I had a little bit too much confidence as a young 16, 17-year-old, but...
What did that look like? When you say, what did that... how did that manifest itself when you say too much? You just...
Well, I ended up going away from the hard work kind of thing. I thought I was always quite talented as a young player and probably the best sort of couple of players in my team. So I always thought I was a bit above my station kind of thing. And yeah, I was aiming high. I wanted to play and be the loose forward at Leeds at the time, and that's where I was. So yeah, I aimed high and yeah, got myself caught up in some off-field stuff while I was at Leeds and sort of went down a different track to get to where I am today, but it's probably made me who I am as well.
How difficult was that point where you got told by Leeds you're done?
Very. Yeah, I thought I'd blown it, to be honest. I thought, because I was talented enough, I probably just didn't work hard enough and didn't value hard work, really. I thought that being talented would get you to where I wanted to be, but the world doesn't work like that.
So was that the turning point for you then, that made you realise?
Yeah, I think it probably took about 6 months after that. I was working on a building site. I'd gone from being full-time with Leeds at 17.
Mad.
I debuted at 17,
Mad.
and then within a couple of years I was on a building site. I was labouring for bricklayers. I remember climbing up a ladder with cement on my shoulder and thinking, what is that? I can't do
Barry
this.
McDermott now.
Yeah, and it was tough. That's tough. But
that's amazing for you. To talk about being overconfident, I'll tell you what that's amazing for, is sorting your ego out if you have one.
Well, probably did. Yeah, it's fair to say I did have one, and that sort of. Well, you look in the mirror and sort of, right, where am I going to go here? Am I going to be a rugby player, or is it done? And I thought, no, I still had something inside me burning. I thought, I'm not done yet. And then,
so you went from there to?
I was at Sheffield for 2 years.
So you really London as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I went to London. That was at Leeds. They loaned me out to London in the Championship. I really enjoyed that. It was good. And then I went to Sheffield for 2 years, Bradford for 2 years, and then came here. Yeah,
it's
2020.
It's an amazing route, isn't it? To think now.
It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, you're one of the best players in our comp, and I love that you had to go through such a complicated route. Now, going back, I think we all do this. You would go back to you at 16 and maybe not make that mistake or not make those mistakes. But that's an unbelievable way to test out your desire, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's probably something I've been taught as a kid and went away from. My granddad was very big on no one ever gives you anything in life, which I understand now. Whereas at 16, I thought,
this was easy.
Yeah, that's not true. I'm playing at Leeds. I'm 16. How good's this? And whereas I went down that other route and I thought, wow, this is where you want to get to. You've got to work hard, and I just valued that massively. I just thought, I'm not going to stop till I get to where I want to get to.
Yeah.
You mentioned your grandfather there. I know your dad's also had a huge influence on your career.
Yeah, big time. Them two really good role models. Just working hard people, and my dad's very honest with me as well. I think that's a big thing why we've got such a good relationship. He's, he enjoys where I am now, but he still came to watch me when I was at Sheffield and Bradford, and we've got a really good relationship. Yeah, and he's taught me a lot in life, really.
Italian.
Yeah, my granddad was Italian. Yeah, he died 2021, so that's the heritage.
Yeah. Full. Did you ever get back there? Have you still got family?
I've been a few times. Yeah, he's from a place called Frosinone.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
It's like just about an hour outside of Naples.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, lovely part of the world.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Gotta be back there.
Can you speak Italian?
No, unfortunately not. I know how to order a beer.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, isn't it?
What you need,
That's just the really important thing.
Yeah.
Say molto bene and a beer.
So let's chat HKR then, and the journey kind of from when you first arrived to where you are now, to see where the club has gone, how it's kind of risen. Even from my time working in Super League, I saw you, not you necessarily, but the club be relegated and then come back up. I mean, how, in your eyes, have the club succeeded and gotten to where, like, a game away from Old Trafford?
A lot. They've succeeded in a lot of areas, but I think it's the people on board. Neil Udgell, I remember when I first joined 2020, I was actually talking to Willie this morning, and my first year was a COVID year. It was when Toronto was in the league, and if Toronto hadn't folded, we'd have been in championship. We finished bottom of the league. It was really tough. But it's just the people, I think, at the club. Good people. Tony Smith did a really good job to start with, and I think Willie's just taken us, well, we all know what Willie's done, but people behind the scenes, Neil, Paul Lakin, the board that we've got now, it's just, unbelievable. The difference is in 4 or 5 years, it's unheard of, really.
Yeah, and I think it's been such a steady thing. It's not been like a boom or bust thing.
Yeah.
It's like slowly building. Like you mentioned names there, Lachlan Coote adds something, then it's Sean Kenny-Dowell adds something, and then it just keeps going and going and going. And you keep adding to something that you've got that works. And then maybe Willie coming in might just be that little few percent difference.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because he's got an intensity about him that is different to what's been here before.
Yeah, 100%. He wants to win, and he holds people accountable. And he's held, for me personally, he's changed my game massively. I think before Willie came in, probably focused more on my game around what we did with the ball, but that were probably us as a team. KR, when Tony was here, we were very flamboyant. We moved the ball all the time. We tried to defend with our attack. That was the mindset we had. Willie came in, flipped that on his head. We were going to be, we're a defocused team, and we was like, oh right, well we're on here, and then challenged me as well, because I was like, this is not what I'm used to. Yeah. But then we had a decision to make of buying in, and we all bought into what he's about, and we're reaping the rewards.
Yeah, the funny thing was, though, just to go back on that, what I think is really interesting for the timing of this club was the COVID year was really important because Tony Smith got you to just waz the ball around everywhere. All the time they were doing that, it was very entertaining, but you do actually refine your skills if you play a bit more, and in games you're learning how to...
And the reason that was able to happen was because relegation was taken off the table.
Yeah, exactly.
So it didn't matter.
I know, but then if you can couple that, a bit of that, and that a bit of flamboyance almost with a defensive mindset, it's a winner,
Yeah, but it's fun to play in.
Yeah.
He just said right, the reins are off and just go and express yourself, which as a player it was, this is going to be good.
So
we didn't win many games, but
no, I think
so what did you discover about yourself in 2020, 2021?
In 2021, about just competing at this level. I had a goal to get back to Super League and play Super League, and your goals change. I think that year I was wanting to be a part of the team and contribute as much as I could and be a Super League player. That's what I had in my head. And then as I did that, I want the next thing then and chase the next thing. So it was a really good year, personally, just for that experience of playing against the best, proving that I could handle that. And then it was right. What do I do next from here?
And has Willie given you the edge in your game?
I think so. Yeah. Me and Willie had I won't say a disagreement, but we saw a bit of a crossroads at the start of last year when he first came in, probably about 4 or 5 games in. He dropped me for, I think we played Warrington here actually, and he dropped me, I was 18th man, and I was absolutely fuming. I thought, I'd been a starter for the team, and I thought I was a starter, and he dropped me straight. He just said, no, you're not good enough. All right, so I went to see him, I said, right, what do you want from me? What do I need to do to be in your starting team? And he gave me two or three things to go at, and I thought, right, I'm gonna do that every single day. Wow. And that's just what drives me. I don't know whether he did it to try and get a reaction or but he's definitely given me that edge, and that time I thought, I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to show him that I can do what he wants me to do.
Can you share with us what he wanted you to do?
Just all effort areas. Probably my defence, be better in defence, move quicker, line speed harder, kick pressure harder, all the effort stuff. I think with the ball, it's probably what comes easy to me, but it's all the D stuff and the effort areas, which is stuff that I had to work on. And he just put it on me, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go and do that and prove you wrong.
Yeah, that's, I think, the thing that impresses me about old guys, how quick you move defensively, Yeah. Everybody, it's obviously this goes out after the game against Warrington, but if without you in the team, they can produce a defensive performance like you did at their place. Yeah, you're a chance, aren't you?
Yeah. We speak about line speed. Obviously, every team wants to line speed hard, but also when the ball's gone away, when the ball's gone to an edge, keep moving in the middle. No walking, things like that. Go kick pressure as hard as you can. Work from marker. Be a tough team to attack against. That's what we want to be. So that's what you have to do.
It's working out, isn't it?
Yeah, sure
it's really
is.
working out. Good.
Sure is. Well, we'll know exactly how well it's worked out when this does go to air. Okay, on this podcast, Elliot, we have on the bench, off the bench segment. On the bench is something you want to see less of in the game. You're taking it out of the game. off the bench is something that you want to inject into the game.
Yeah.
What is something you would like to see more of in Super League, in rugby league, in world sport even?
It's not so much on the field, but I'd like there to be a strong players' union. And I know you've got a bit of history in that, and I've been involved in a couple of meetings this year with the captains from the other clubs, and it's something I think strongly about and I'm passionate about. I think we should have a strong players' union that has a voice that works with the game, not opposed to against it. And I think we all work together for the benefit of the players, but for the game as well. I think the players having a voice, whether that's 2 or 3 representatives throughout the playing group from the whole of Super League, and just have a voice and an opinion and a bit of a say on the game. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, and the issue that they've got there is that at the minute, if a player comes out as critical of anything in the game, you individually can be reprimanded by your club. You know, the game you can just be used as a scapegoat. Whereas the beautiful thing about a union is you can get genuine feelings, opinions to the game and collaborate with the game, but it takes the individuals out of it. You know, it's how you suppress a workforce is by not giving them an ability to communicate with you. And if you do, you put your head above the parapet and you get shot. And that was always my frustration.
So, okay, Elliot says that this is something that you have tried to do in the past.
Yeah.
What happened? Where did it go wrong? And how can players perhaps make this happen?
Well, I think there was a bit of an apathy towards doing it. I think they didn't really understand at the time, you know, the issues. I think players are way more aware of their importance to the game than they have been in the past. I think it's a different environment. I was 2008 and 9, you know, driving around on days off, going to clubs, speaking to people, and just remember being at Bradford, I think, who were in a real pickle at the time, and just thinking these guys, they didn't get it, you know. They're talking about getting a Nando's black card from, you know, from an association, and talking about like the working conditions, like the underpinning insurance that looks after them, the welfare, the rules of the game, being involved in that, the salary cap, how that's structured, a minimum wage. Man, I'm pushed on a minimum wage for so long, you know?
Yeah.
These things that are really important to the lads, and they just get... They don't get... I think the GMB do a job, don't they?
Yeah.
So the GMB are involved, but they're a big industrial trade union, and they're really... you know, if it's the fan, they're in to help, you know?
Yeah.
If something really bad happens, they come and help.
Yeah.
It's not a proactive, collaborative association that the players should have.
I agree, yeah. I think it's more around, like you said, the minimum wage, looking after the younger lads, sort of the pension scheme, something like that. Yeah, there's loads of things, sort of medical insurance for players at the end of their career, making sure they're going to get looked after. They're coming into the year, you know, the retirement year. You know, you could go on for, you know, the list goes on. But yeah, I think having a strong players' union where we work collaboratively with the game, you know, it's not a conflict. It shouldn't be a conflict. It should be a working relationship. Yeah. And I'm strongly passionate about it.
One issue I had was I had one of the chairmen, I'm going to do an impression of the chairman. He said, "I'll never say this publicly, but I'll never negotiate with the collective." And I was like, right, great. He said,
"That's what you're up against."
Yeah. So I think a lot of people say, yeah, but they're actually scared because...
Yeah. I think it's getting the buy-in in it from the playing group.
And I think you know.
I think like Alex Walmsley's spoken passionately about this as well. I think it's something that should definitely be looked at, maybe for, you know, next season, the season after. I like it. Off the bench. Have you got an off the bench?
That's my off the bench as well. I'm that passionate about it.
Power in numbers. No.
Guess what, everyone? That's my off the bench as well.
No, that is my off the bench. I'm 100% behind it. I spent 2 years of my life trying. I failed. I made loads of mistakes. I was on my own, under resourced, coming up against.
Well, could you head it maybe?
No, no. It's not. It needs one of these guys who are in it and are right around it and know all the guys. And it's going to take somebody with a load of passion and drive and a resilience and a commitment and a persistence. Okay. And it just ground me down by the end of it, you know. Okay. And it was, but I'm still, you know, I couldn't agree more. It's hugely important.
Excellent. Well, that is off the bench. On the bench, something you want to see less of in the game, Elliot?
I think when the referee sends a try up to the video ref and it's either a try or no try, I think get rid of that.
Yeah, so if it goes up, they don't know.
The referee's not sure, hand it over to the video ref to make a decision.
On the bench for me, right, I'm going to ban chat about the atmosphere pre-game.
I'm benching you. You're on the bench.
I'm fine, I'm on the bench. On the bench is pre-match chat about atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right? So we always go, wow, isn't the atmosphere great? But you know that sometimes we don't say the atmosphere is great. And I think that basically, unless we're going to say the atmosphere is great, we've got to say, oh my God, this atmosphere sucks. Like, we have to. We have to. No, we can't be here and there's 11,000 go, whoa, the atmosphere is unbelievable. Jenna Brooks, what are you? Whoa, down here, everybody's going crazy. And then we go to, like, there's an empty stand in the back of us and go, wow.
There's no atmosphere
There's
here,
no
guys.
atmosphere here, guys. Up to you, Brian. Like, we should be doing it. We should be calling out the grounds with no atmosphere.
Well, I tell you what has amazing atmosphere. That is right here at Craven Park, where we are here tonight, Friday night. We will know who has won by the time this podcast drops on Monday morning. Will it be Hull KR? Will it be Warrington? Go on.
We'll do a section here. Well, we'll.
It's your favourite thing to do.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. Well done, Warrington. They're through. Lucky, Elliot.
Thanks, John.
Well done, Elliot. You've made it to a grand
Guess what?
final.
You're going to Old Trafford.
We'll just,
Listen, whatever happens,
whichever way it goes,
commiseration,
we'll be fine.
all the very best of luck.
thank
We
you
will
very
be at
much.
Old
Yeah,
Trafford
cheers.
It's been a
watching.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Regardless, you've had an amazing season. Thank you for joining us on the Bench podcast. John Wilkin,
Thank you.
You're benched.
Okay.
We'll see you again next week.